Hello and welcome to Firesplitter's lovely speed school. Are you about to start to run a new speed game and do not know where to start? Well, then this video is for you. In this lesson I will go through some basic things you can do to learn about the game you are about to speedrun before you jump into it. I will also teach you a little bit about how to get started with the process of running and practicing to improve yourself to get you started on your journey to speedrunning said game. A fair warning before we start this lesson. In this lesson, I will not delve too deeply into any one topic, as this video is meant to tell you what steps to take in a brief and easily approachable way for you to be able to start running as soon as possible. This lesson will assume that you know what game you want to speedrun and that you know how to set up your speedrunning. If you do not know how to set up a timer and how to record your runs, I have made a video on this very topic that you could watch to help you set yourself up. The video does also assume that you are relatively new to speedrunning, and the advices are therefore tailored towards newer runners to get into speedrunning. Therefore, more experienced runners might not fully benefit from all the advice in this video as much as a new runner would, but it's still worth watching for a more experienced runner, but use your own judgment in terms of which steps you take along the way. With that said, let's start today's lesson. Starting a new speed game is a very exciting thing to do, but it can also be quite overwhelming, especially if it is an old and huge speed game where a lot of discoveries has been made over the years and there is a huge smorgasbord of strategies to discover and implement to your run, which can make the task of starting to run a quite daunting one. The first step when starting to run a new game is therefore to set a goal for yourself to use to decide what steps you want to take along the road. I would say that for a beginner, the best way to do this is simple to just read up a little bit about the category you intend to run and the rules, and then have a go at the run. Just perform a simple casual run from start to finish to get a feel for where you are right now. Once this run is done, look at your time and look at the leaderboard to give yourself a specific goal to reach. I would say that for a heavily ranked game, pick a run on the leaderboard you want to beat. But don't go overboard and go for the world record run. Keep your goals moderate at this point. I would say you should go for someone who feels relatively close to your PB, but not too close. Your first run will quickly be improved upon. Even though this is the first goal, you should still have to work a little bit for it. If the leaderboard is not that active, pick a time that is somewhere reasonable between your run and the world record run to aim to run against. This is a far rougher process, but I would for simplicity's sake that for a first goal, a good formula to use, generally speaking, is subtract the world record time from your time and then divide the number you got left by 3 and aim to improve your run by that much time. As an example, if your first run takes 50 minutes and the world record is 20 minutes, subtract 20 from 50, which is 30, and divide by 3, which is 10. Which means that you should improve your run by 10 minutes, which would give you the goal to reach of 40 minutes. It is often going to be a good and reasonably achievable goal that is still probably not going to come for free without learning some additional strats. But if you find the goal too hard to beat, feel free to adjust it along the road to make it more achievable. Remember, this is your first goal, not a final goal or anything. Keep it reasonable and keep it fun, but still, you have to work a little bit for it. Once you set the goal, it's time to do your studies. Look at your time and look at the runs to beat. Add 2 to 3 runs above and below it to see what strategies to use that you could learn to improve your own run. At this point, it might be a good idea to join the community or look up videos on YouTube about the strategies if they are up there. In speedrunning, people are generally speaking extremely helpful and willing to help you to improve. So if you see a strategy you do not quite understand, feel free to ask about it in the community. The best thing to do at this point for practicing is simply to perform a sketch of your run. What I mean with this is that you take the run slowly and allow any mistakes that happen along the route, while still doing the intended strategies. You do not need a timer for this, but you might use one if it doesn't distract you from your goal of learn the run, but I highly recommend you to not use a timer at this point, as it might tempt you to go off the road to get a personal best, which is not the goal at this point, as the goal is to learn and become consistent with the route. After you've done this a couple of times, you will notice there are some things in the run you are worse on than the rest of the run. At this point, my recommendation is to either start practicing that part or remove it from the run for now. There is no shame in temporarily removing a strat from your run to reach your current goal. if it's not needed to do so. Repeat this process until you have a good picture about what your route is going to be like, and then it's time to start going for your goal. At this point, you already start to actually start speedrunning the game. You have a blueprint for the run in your mind, you have strategies to practice, and you have a goal to strive for. As your time improves and you eventually break your goal, set a new one. A good way to do this is to either beat the next person on the leaderboard, which way I always recommend to watch runs above your goal as well, or to close the gap between you and the world record by about 1/10 of the difference if there are no runs close to you to beat on the leaderboard. And congratulations! You do now have the knowledge needed to start speedrunning a new game, and set your own first couple of goals and forming and learning strategies to overcome them. Now it is time for you to start a rocky yet exciting climb of the leaderboard. I hope today's lesson was useful for you and that it helped you to start running. Feel free to tell me in the comment section below if the video helped you out and how speedrunning is going for you. I'm always excited to hear about your progress and the success stories speedrunning brings. If you liked the video, please feel free to leave a like and press the cute little subscribe button for more videos on speedrunning and gaming in general. If you have yet to pick a game to speedrun, I do recommend you to watch my video to the left on how to pick a new speed game, where I go through a little game I use personally to decide on new games to speedrun. If you want to watch me run live or just have a pleasant chat with me, I stream most Sunday, Monday, Wednesday and Thursday evenings. Until next time, plenty of hugs and stay cute.